everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and watchOS 26 RC or release candidate is here, and it's available to developers and public beta testers. This should be the final version released to developers and beta testers before it's released to the public. If there's no additional issues, this will be the same as the public release. Now, this particular update came in at 736 megabytes on my Apple Watch Ultra 2, and this was released alongside many other updates, with iOS 26 RC that you'll need for this update, as well as iPadOS 26 RC, updates to tvOS, HomePodOS, visionOS, macOS, and older devices as well. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the build number and talk about what's new. So we'll go into our watch here, we'll go down to settings, and if we go into settings, we'll scroll down to general, then go to about, and we can see the build number is 23R351. This lets us know what version we're currently on, and this could be the build released to the public if there's no additional issues. We'll talk about when to expect that in just a little bit, but this could be the final version, and of course, as developers and public beta testers, we get it a little bit early. Now, Apple had their event the other day, awe-dropping, where they introduced the new iPhone lineup with the iPhone 17, the iPhone Air, and iPhone 17 Pro and 17 Pro Max. But they also introduced replacements for the latest Apple Watches with Apple Watch Series 11, Apple Watch Ultra 3, and Apple Watch SE 3. But it's not that much of a big update. In fact, we get the watch faces from it. So if we press and hold, scroll over, you'll see we have the Waypoint watch face. This is on the Apple Watch Ultra. You can see here. So let's go back. We'll go back in here, and you'll see as I move around, it shows home, where it is, although it's not accurate. It also shows a restaurant here, Panda Hut. It also shows some other things. So we, of course, can customize this with different complications. We'll go into edit. We have complications around the outside. We can change the overall compass to something else, such as last viewed waypoint. We have parked car waypoint, and of course it's all waypoint related. So that's a nice little update here and something that's available. Also, if we go back into this, we'll set that here. We'll go to the next new one, and the next one is called Flow. This actually responds to movement on your wrist, so you can see sort of the liquid glass look where it moves around. So based on how you're moving your wrist, so if it goes to sleep, we'll give it a second, we'll put it to sleep here. You'll see once we wake it up, there we go. It sort of reacts, and again, as you move it around. Again, you can customize this one as well. So if we go into edit, we have different color options. So jet black and different ones to match some of the watches as well as some of the iPhones. You can see all of the colors here. So if you want to customize that, the jet black one looks pretty nice. So if we set that, and then if we go over, you'll see we only have the background. We can sort of remove it or have that background altogether. So again, that's the jet black one, and it has a nice look to it as well. Now, my favorite watch face is Exactograph. This one is very unique. You can see the seconds go by on the left-hand side. I've already customized it with the minutes here. If I put it to sleep, so if I tilt it down, we'll shut it off. It goes back to a regular watch face. And then if I pick it up, you'll see it sort of stretches out into the new look. Now, this is, again, fully customizable. If you don't like this, you can change it. So you'll see here we have style. So if you want just a normal watch, you can do that. Then if we go into this style, we have open 1 and then open 2. Again, we can customize the color. So if we want to change this around to something else, we have a bunch of different options, just like we normally do. So let's see if maybe we'll set it here, maybe to gray for now. And then of course it says complications not available for this dial. So if we go back to this style, we should have some complications. So depending on how you have it set up, you'll have different options. But I really like this style where it's sort of just stretched out and then of course changes based on what it looks like and when you set it down. So again, if we put it to sleep, pick it back up or wake it up here, you'll see it expands back out. Now, finally, we do have a new one called Photos, but that's not really anything new as far as this latest update or this latest build, but you'll see the new watch faces are Photos and then Pride Harmony, but those are from earlier this year. So these are the new ones they've added with this update. Something else Apple has added is a sleep score. Now, the sleep score has to do with the Health app. So if we go into Health, Within Health, give it a second to load, you'll see Sleep Score. If you're using this, we have an all-new Sleep Score graph. You can see one I posted yesterday on the RC for iOS 26. Thanks to Tom for sharing this. It's what it looks like, and we have an all-new graph with a bunch of different data here if you wear this to bed. It's available for all the watches, and one thing that they introduced is hypertension. They introduced it for the new watches, but it's actually going to be available for older watches as well. So the Series 9, Series 10, and Apple Watch Ultra 2 will also gain the option for hypertension. So if we go into our settings here and search for hypertension, you'll see it here, hypertension notifications, and it says hypertension is a condition that can cause damage to your heart, blood vessels, and other organs. Apple Watch can check your heart data and notify you when it detects a pattern that could indicate hypertension. You can manage hypertension notifications and heart settings in Apple Watch. So you'll see this here. So it's great that it's coming to older devices as well. It's not limited to the latest devices. One other thing to note is that the newest Apple Watches don't really have a processor upgrade, at least for the Series 11. We do get a little bit of an upgrade for the Apple Watch Ultra 3 with its display, as well as the processor, but there's not huge upgrades this year, mostly just some software updates with watchOS 26. As far as the release notes, we do have some of those, and on Apple's public-facing release note website, you'll see here watchOS 26 RC, and you can see all of the things here, such as new features, with new accessibility section has been added to the App Store. We have resolved issues with Apple Intelligence, and there's not a whole lot new here from the previous beta. But be sure to check this out if you're still having issues, and report it in feedback if you're running the latest RC before it comes out to the public. So again, you can see all of the features, different things for developers, as well as things they've fixed with known issues remaining. Now, as far as overall performance, well, I've been using it for a few days. Of course, with the beta, I've been using it for a few months. I've been using this one for a day or so since it's been out, and overall, it seems to perform well. So if we go into things such as noise, so maybe we'll go into noise, which I use often, just to see what the overall decibel level is. It says measurement suspended. There we go. Then if we go into I, you can see more information about it, but it works right away like you would expect, super fast, no real issues. And if we go into other things, of course, we have notes now, we have podcasts. Maybe we'll go into podcasts. You'll see it loads fairly quickly. And if you want to listen to that, it's available now and very fast. So much faster in this update, things feel refined. If we go back home, go into the control center here, you'll see it sort of slides in, generally pretty fast there, no real issues. And as far as battery life, well, I've been wearing this for a few hours now. We're down to 88%. And if we take a look at battery and settings, so we'll go down to settings here. And if we keep scrolling down to battery, there we go, battery, scroll down, you'll see battery health. After using this for a year, we're still at 100% capacity. Now, I must admit I don't use this every single day, but it seems to be holding up well. And while I'm not using it, I leave it on optimized battery charging and I leave it on the charger. So it's doing quite well using it for a year. I do plan to get the Apple Watch Ultra 3 and Series 11 to share with you as well. But I think overall it's pretty good. I can't wait to see the new display on the Apple Watch Ultra 3 where it has better viewing angles and is slightly larger. So of course we'll compare that as well. Also, I think this watch face needs a little bit more color here. So let's go ahead and add that. See what options we have. Let's go to maybe navy or a lighter blue. Let's try that one. And for those of you wondering which watch face I typically use, it's modular. So you can see here the modular watch face. And if we press and hold, hit edit, you'll see the background here. If we go over to the complications, within the complications, I have an app called Lumi in the middle, which is a paid app, and it shows you countdown to golden hour, or you can change this to sunrise, sunset, and other things. Everything else is pretty standard though. The weather, the date, activity, as well as the compass and messages. So nothing really special there. I've used it for quite some time, and I quite like the new Exactograph watch face. Now, as far as the release date, well, Apple has confirmed the release date on apple.com. So if we go to Apple, if we go to Watch, then we go to watchOS 26. At the top, you'll see it's available on September 15th, usually around 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific. So that's usually when you can expect it with all the new features coming out along with iOS 26, which you'll need to install in order to use this. If you're wondering if you should install watchOS 26 now, well, it's pretty safe at this point. Of course, if you want to be extra cautious, you can wait until it's released to the public, but generally it's pretty safe once the RC is out. Of course, the only way to roll back to watchOS 11 is to actually go to an Apple store and have them do it. But after the 15th, I don't think they'll roll it back. So just keep that in mind. However, it's been fairly stable for me, and I've had very few issues with it. So overall, there were some bugs early on, but so far it seems to be pretty good. So let me know what you think of watchOS 26. It's one of the smaller updates to the iOS 26, watchOS 26, and the huge redesign. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below. And do you like the new watch faces, or do you prefer something else? I'd love to hear from you there. Of course, I'll link this wallpaper in the description like I normally do. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.